Hey, how you doing today? My name's Relyea, and thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to go over the Trials of the Sword Middle Trials walkthrough. There's a couple things you want to do before we get in here. The first off being eating a 3-up attack recipe with a 30-minute duration. That'll give you 50% bonus damage. Overheal using hearty ingredients. You can have a max of 30 hearts. Don't forget to get an extra 2 stamina wheels using a recipe of 5 Endura carrots. Lastly, don't forget to save before getting in there. Let's get started. The first 4 floors all have an updraft and they have relatively weak enemies. Most of them have red bokoblins and blue bokoblins that you can take out pretty easily. Keep your distance, move quickly, and use bombs. I like to use this metal box to take out the archer because then he doesn't have an angle to hit me with his fire arrows. He also has a soldier bow that you're going to want to try and pick up. Of course, in this demonstration, it goes right over the edge. There's going to be 2 more red bokoblins. You're going to just take them out with your bombs. Super easy. Just try not to take any damage early on. There's a chest at the top of this platform that has a soldier bow. Throw your bomb up to the platform and blow it up. It'll drop down nice and easy. Don't forget to search every room for food. Floor 2 has 2 fire whiz robes and also 3 bokoblins. You can hit the fire whiz robes when they're not over a platform to make them drop into the abyss, and you don't have to deal with them. Otherwise, you can make them fall onto a platform, and you can take their fire rod from them. I personally just like to make them drop into the abyss, don't have to deal with them, and then you can move on to the bokoblins over this way. After you take care of the archer, equip a strong bow and take out the blue bokoblin and the red bokoblin waiting for you down below. The blue bokoblin is holding on to a soldier broadsword and a soldier shield that you're going to want to pick up. Alright, so floor 3 is one that you really need to move quickly. There's one bokoblin right at the top center that is going to alert all of the other bokoblins that you're there. I haven't been able to take him out fast enough before he alerts the other ones, and that's alright. Just pop his balloons and move quickly. Take out the red archer bokoblins first. Those are the most important ones because they can hit you from really far away. They also have pretty strong weapons. When you're paragliding and using your slow motion archer shots, just know that it will use up a lot of stamina quickly, so be sure to keep an eye out on your stamina wheel so you don't run out of stamina. Let's just say that I've fallen to my death a couple of times in the making of this video. Once you've taken out all of the ranged threats, go back for that one blue bokoblin who's just kind of chilling out. I have tried to kill this guy early on and was just getting wrecked by arrows from far away, so it's just better to save him for last. If you watch my end trial video, you'll see that I am not the best at doing the shield parry, so I'm not even going to attempt it. All you have to do is get a critical hit by hitting him in the eye. That'll stun him long enough for you to get on the platform, and then use a spear or some other weapon that's not necessarily the best to just keep attacking him. Critical hit in the eye, attack him, critical hit in the eye, and then just like that, he's done. No shield parry needed, and you don't have to worry about taking a bunch of damage. Floor 5 is a much needed break. What you need to remember to do is go very slow and go get that fairy. If you stand up and accidentally go too fast, you're going to miss that fairy and you're going to miss your chance at a revive should you need it. Blow up and collect the Hyrule Bass. You're going to want them for some extra hearts. Pick up the chest and put on those trousers because you don't need to be naked. And then also when you go to cook, there's nothing that you're going to make that's going to make dubious food, so just make sure you don't make anything with 2 different status effects. I would make sure to focus on making meals that have that defensive bonus, because you might want that later. Floor 6 is just a bunch of fire Kisi and a couple of electric choo-choos. All you have to do is use your bombs, blow them up, and it's pretty simple. Just try not to take a bunch of damage. What's really rough is that the next couple of levels are all in the dark, and I had a really tough time doing this the first time. If you do it in a bright room, like if you're outside or something like that and it's really bright, it's going to be really, really hard to see in the dark. If you can, be in a darker room when you're trying to do these levels. If you already have a tough time with a lizalfos, then floor 7 is going to be tough because you're fighting them in the dark. There's one to the left and there's one a little bit further out to the right of the skull. Try to use your stasis to see a little bit in the dark, and if you can just pull one over to you, do it. Then stasis him and use your arrows to fight him one at a time. It's going to be pretty easy if you can do it one at a time, and try to keep them close to the fire where you can actually see where they're at. It's really hard to see the lizalfos just to the right of the skull, but you can see that little white triangle that was above his head, and also when you highlight him with your stasis, you'll see the little triangles around the plus sign. Use that to stasis him. You'll be able to see an outline of him just long enough to be able to take him down. Meanwhile, inside of the skull, there's a lizalfos holding a flame blade, which you're going to want to grab, and there's also another lizalfos that is an archer. Keep your distance, use the stasis, and hit him in the head a couple times. He'll go down quick. Shameless plug, if you made it this far and you're finding this useful, be sure to like this video. Floor 8 has a fire wizrobe to the left, holding a fire rod, as well as a couple of bokoblins hanging out near the fire. If you're slow and careful, you can sneak around to the left side and take out the fire wizrobe without alerting the bokoblins. Use your stasis, hit the fire wizrobe in the head a couple of times, and then deal as much damage as you possibly can. You might need to stasis him more than once. Just be careful, because if you hit him too close to where the bokoblins are in their camp, you're gonna alert them and they're gonna come after you. So just be ready that they could come quick. Bokoblins are normally pretty easy, but when all you can see is their frickin' scary red eyes, they can be kind of difficult. So use that fire rod to set them on fire and also just give you a little bit of light to see what the heck is going on. It's actually easier to fight them when their weapons are on fire, because then you can jump out of the way. Floor 9 is the exact same thing as floor 4. The only difference is you're doing it in the dark and you don't have an updraft to try to get out of the way. All you have to do is stun the guardian in the eye using a bow, and then after that, charge him, get a couple of hits, stun him in the eye, get a couple hits, and he'll be done in no time. If you're really good, all you have to do is shield parry his laser just one time and he'll go down. I personally don't like risk taking that damage, and if you have a tough time doing shield parry, just go the slow way. Thinking out loud, maybe I'm risk adverse because I'm an accountant. Alright, anyways, floor 10 is a Hinox right in the middle of the room, in the dark, and you just cannot see this guy. Use your stasis to be able to light up your way just a little bit. You'll also be able to see the little triangle of where he is. Walk right between his legs. Look, you can see his feet right there. Walk between his legs before pulling out the biggest weapon that you have, and you're just going to spin like crazy and do as much damage as you can. Once he starts to get up, pull out your bow and back away just a little bit. Make sure that you're outside of his hand clap or hand smash attack, whatever he's going to do. It's usually just a little bit in front of him. Do your best to try to hit him in the eye, but if you're having trouble, use stasis to stop him just long enough to be able to see him and also get that critical hit. If his little shin guards haven't already caught on fire, you can go ahead and do so. You can also pick up the items that are around his neck and do as much damage as you possibly can. When he's on fire, he's going to do a little dance. It's also going to make it very easy for you to get a critical hit on his eye. At this point, you should only need to stasis him one more time, get one last critical hit, finish him off, and you'll be good to go. If you had that 3-up attack recipe, he'd be done by this point with that 50% attack up. I accidentally ate a different status effect recipe, which took away my 3-up attack recipe. This Hinox would have been done already by now had I not accidentally eaten a different recipe. I really do want to name that Hinox dance when he's all on fire and dancing around, but I don't know what. Leave me a comment down below if you can think of a good dance name. Floor 11 is the second and final break that you get. Go ahead and pick up those fairies, and again, go really, really slow. I hate it when I lose them. Throw the bombs at the Hyrule Bass. Those will give you some extra hearts. Pick up the chest, just like you always do. There's a Hylian tunic that you're going to want to wear. And last, go ahead and make whatever meals that you can. Again, you're not going to make any dubious food, so just don't mix your status of effect recipes. Floor 12 leaves you vulnerable right away. Move off to one side and use your Krynosis as quickly as possible so you have some sort of shield to hide behind. Each of these mini guardians are only going to take one hit to take down. Once you have your shield set up, it's so easy. Continue to pick off the mini guardians one at a time, and you'll be done with this floor in no time. Floor 13 has several guardians, but you don't want to try and rush the guardians right away. Let them come to you, because otherwise you're going to be fighting 3 guardians at the same time. There's one straight ahead, one to the right, and also one to your left. Just take your time, fight them one at a time as best as you can. After you take out those 2, the one on the left is going to be simple. Floor 14 is very similar to floor 12 in that you're going to want to get an ice shield as quickly as possible. Some of the mini guardians from further away can hit you pretty quickly. Once you set up your ice shield, grab yourself a decent strength bow and you can take out the shooting guardians with one hit. After that, you want to awaken these guardians on the sides and take them out one at a time. They're just like the guardians that you were fighting on floor 13, so they really shouldn't be a problem. Just use whatever weapons that you have, but save your guardian weapons for the final boss. With floor 15, you're at the second to last floor. All you have to do is focus on one of the two guardians, because as soon as one of them starts doing their spinny laser attack, he'll actually do damage to the other guardian. So just do damage to the one guardian as quickly as possible, and make sure the other guardian is close by. Don't forget to use the poles as defense, because you don't want to take a spinning attack from one of the guardians. So you can see right here how one guardian is dealing damage to the other one. It's a beautiful thing. As long as you focus all of your attention on one guardian, taking him out before focusing on the second one, this round is going to be pretty easy. Floor 16 is the final floor of the middle trials, and it's just one guardian, but make sure that you save some of those weapons for the final push when he's going to start doing his laser beam, because you're going to want to take him out as quickly as possible, especially if you don't want to do a shield parry. Just like before, once a guardian hits about half health, he will try to do a spin attack. Use those pillars as defense. Once the guardian is a little less than half health, he'll jump back and start to do a spinny laser attack. Do as much damage as you can with your bow and arrow while he keeps spinning and spinning. If he jumps back but does not start to spin, it means that he's going to start charging up to do his final laser attack. You can either shield parry it to finish him off, or eat one of your attack up recipes if yours ran out, and use your guardian weapons to take him out as quickly as possible. And just like that, you took out the final boss of the middle trials. You have earned a 50 attack Master Sword. If you need some help with the final trials, go ahead and click on the link above. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm just really passionate about gaming, and I make tons of how-to and tips and tricks videos. And if you're not new to the channel, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Thank you very much, and thanks for stopping by.